Hello, sir.
Hello, how are you?
I am fantastic. How are you, sir? Did I already say that? I did.
When did you say that?
I think that was my opening.
No, you said hello, sir.
Oh,
And then
well,
I asked how you were, and then you weirded out and said that you'd already said it.
how are you?
Well, I have already said that.
Okay, that's what I said. Did I already say it? And then you're like, no, I don't know. I'm so tired. I'm so jet lagged. I'm so tired. I've had like 8 hours sleep in 3 nights.
Pretty lifestyle.
It's been a lot of traveling in a very short amount of time.
It has been.
Went to Japan.
Hmm.
How was Japan? What were the highlights of Japan for you?
Japan was very cool. Miyayama was cool. Miyayama Island and Suzuka was cool.
Was that off Hiroshima
Hiroshima, yeah, was the one that we took the boat down to
Island?
Miyayama, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and you got attacked by deer. And it's one of my favorite pictures from the trip.
What picture?
You trying to get away from the deer that was trying to bite your purse.
Mm. And it tore half my map, got half my map ripped.
Yep.
And then we were on a bus later on that day and saw a woman with half a map
Yep.
torn, also probably attacked by deers.
Yes. So, but yeah, that was it. I mean, the country as a whole is awesome. It's a very nice country, very polite.
And not busy.
No,
I thought it would be swarming busy in every Asia country I've been to.
no, the busiest places were the tourist places, and it was filled up with dumb tourists walking around.
Yeah.
Everywhere else was awesome.
And 7-Eleven was amazing.
No,
We
was a
ate
highlight.
there pretty much every meal.
Yeah. And before you listen and scoff, it's not like our 7-Elevens. It's not Slurpees and Doritos. It's like full restaurant level food that you can just take home.
Amazing sushi, amazing rolls. Like my favorite, aside from that one couple who
Mhm.
had the little corner sushi place, which was the best.
It was very good.
And they literally, like, dude, just bare hands putting raw fish on the wood slab of, like, not even a plate or anything, just the counter is a wood slab. And you got slapped meat.
You're really doing a horrible job of selling it.
I don't know. I'm tired. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And then I went to Wisconsin.
What was the highlight of Wisconsin?
Me being interrogated by the TSA for protein powder, and I missed my plane.
Mhm.
It was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Tiny little airport, tiny little airport. There's literally 3 of us in line to go through security, and they pulled me over and made a big deal about my protein powder. And so it was a nightmare. I actually had a panic attack. I've never had a panic attack like that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It was terrible. But it's okay. It worked out.
So I would say the highlight of Wisconsin was leaving Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was beautiful where I was. And then I went to Detroit and didn't leave my hotel the entire time in Detroit.
Probably the right call.
But then the nice Uber driver in Detroit, I'm like, so am I going to be murdered? And he laughed and he's like, who told you that? He's like, no, you're safe. Detroit's got all sorts of things. It's awesome. It's amazing. But everybody else I talked to who's not from Detroit, but's been to Detroit, they're like, yeah, just stay in your hotel. So I don't know. I stayed in my hotel.
I'm sure there are, like, don't get me wrong, Detroit has some very nice places. But if you don't know where they are,
Yeah, I would have been by myself. The one guy from Wisconsin was like, do not take public transport, because I was supposed to go see Justin Timberlake. However, he canceled his concert. So I stayed in the hotel for my conference.
it's twice now we've not been able to see him.
I know, which is very, very sad.
The first time was our fault, though.
I know. Anyway, so I haven't read through, I only read the first 2. I'm like, ooh, this is stuff that we talk about all the time. But I've got a list. I'm pulling a trick out of your hat.
Mm-hmm. Let someone else do the effort.
And do the article. But it was interesting. So the headline that caught my eye was 10 meaningful lessons that millennial parents are not teaching their kids. And so I thought,
So is this essentially how millennials are ruining parenting? Is that essentially the type of list that we're about to go through?
Essentially.
Okay.
And their kids. But whose fault is it? Probably the Gen Xers.
Probably.
Well, in society. Yeah, it's just the shift. I mean, it's everything that we've talked about, right? The shift in I don't even know what to call it. Like it's just the over coddling, right? But anyway, do you want any guesses?
No,
No, you just want to jump into the list. Okay, number one, how to be self-sufficient.
millennials are ruining that. They're not teaching that lesson.
They're not teaching that lesson. They're not teaching that kid.
Okay.
So, like, just do you agree? Do you disagree?
Yeah, I would see it as a continuation of what we've talked about before, which is parents in our kind of demographic are helicopter parents for the most part. So I wouldn't be surprised if the millennials were the same or worse.
Well, and it started, right? Like in the Gen Xers is where it started, though,
Yeah.
protective parenting, just because of all the trends. I mean, we've
Yeah.
talked
Yeah.
about it before, right? Like in the 80s, Adam Walsh,
Mhm.
kids missing on the milk carton, stranger danger, all that stuff, right?
So perfect example of that that just happened in this city in the past week. And I saw the headline and I saved it because I was going to send it to you. Was the title of the quote from one of the parents was, "My soul left my body." Okay. Why do you think this parent's soul left their body?
Because they couldn't see their kid on the other side of, I don't know.
Nope, their kids got dropped off at the wrong bus stop. So all these parents were waiting for their kids to come at the bus.
Oh my
And
goodness.
so they were dropped at the wrong bus stop. And they were all just kind of sitting there wondering what the hell happened and why they were dropped off at the wrong spot. This parent's reaction was, "My soul left my body."
Oh my
I
goodness.
saw that. I'm like, oh, Caroline, I'll lose her mind at this.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, so our little kindergartner, when she was in kindergartner, got dropped downtown unattended from her school bus because they were supposed to transfer buses downtown.
Hmm.
My soul did not leave my body.
No. Yeah. So that to me is, yeah, I absolutely would believe it.
But anyway, so yeah, they're lacking in self-care competence and they're overly protective,
Hmm.
right? Incapable of overcoming their own struggles, in need of constant protection from the dangers of the world.
So is this the parent or the child?
The parents
Okay.
are overprotecting their
No,
children.
no, but the examples you're listing of like unable to overcome their own issues, is that the kid or the parents?
So the parents are telling kids essentially by overprotecting, over nagging, telling them to go brush their teeth, go get ready for bed, go brush your hair, go do all of these things. Parents are essentially telling their kids, you are not capable of taking care of yourself,
Okay.
or you don't know. And even like I talk about this too, I might ruin the rest of the list. I don't know. I haven't gotten through. I've only seen the first two, but all of the things that we do, like put on your coat. No, I'm not. I'm hot. I don't need my coat. It's too hot. Put on your coat. It's cold outside, right? When we are forcing our kids, again, we're telling them, I don't believe you. So we're already breaking trust there. And you don't know yourself, right? You don't know what's best for you. I do. And so we're creating these kids who are full of self-doubt and questioning, and then they just give up because they
Yeah.
can't do it themselves anyways, right? So but yeah, so millennial parents are not teaching their kids, and I would say Gen X parents
Hmm.
too, are not teaching their kids self-sufficiency.
Okay. That makes sense. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the flip side would be, what can you start doing? What are you doing for your kids that they can do for themselves? Even just one thing.
Well, going back to that article, the one thing that struck me was when I read it was one of the biggest concerns was that they were dropped off near a busy intersection. I'm like, okay, so are you concerned that a car is going to leap through the intersection and mow the kids down? Or are you concerned that the kids are going to wander into the intersection because you haven't taught them not to? Like, what is the real danger? Because someone's not going to come along and kidnap 30 kids,
Yeah.
right? Like, what is the real danger? That's the part that got me. So, like, what part makes your soul leave your body? Oh, that you don't have a line of sight in your kids. That's it. That's it.
And just like, what have we come to not trust other adults to like, and other adults are good and will watch out for our kids. Like that's just this whole thing of just me,
Mhm.
and it was interesting. I was just actually at a school presenting a couple of nights ago, and like some parents were, oh, there's no way I could, I don't let my kids walk to school by themselves. All these horrific things could happen. But there was a woman, because I said like the odds are, if we were to put it into years, the chances of your child being abducted is 1.83 trillion years, right?
Mhm.
And one mom put up her hand and saying, well, I'm one of those 1.83 million trillion. I was abducted when I was a child, but she got away. It's so, and she's like, and I learned, and she talked about her resilient story. And I said, well, you were the hero of your own story. And she's like, yeah. And even though I had that really scary experience and know firsthand that it can happen, I didn't want my kids to be scared of the world. And
Yeah.
so she would, at first I thought she was going to be like hammering against me, but she was trying to like show the other parents, like, no, like I do let my kids go to school and do these
Mhm.
things and do things independently all the time. And then there was another dad. He's like, yeah, we know all of the people in our neighborhood, whether they live in a house or not. Like we go to the bottle depot all the time, and there's people
Mhm.
hanging out at the bottle depot. My kids know them by name, and it's a safe, like it's not the dangerous world we create it to be.
Yeah.
Yes, there's pockets and yes, there's chances. However, we can't make our kids believe that the world is a scary place and reinforce the idea that they can't do anything.
So the perfect example of what we've done as a society is your experience at the TSA.
Oh yeah.
You've heard me rail on countless trips to the point where I try not to say anything anymore, but it's all theater. It's all made up. It's all fake. There's this act put upon us about how they're keeping us safe by doing these things. Well, it's no different. The police, as good as the police are and the jobs they do, I get it. There's dangerous people out there and they got to take care of it. But at the same time, they're in the business of scaring people straight. They're in the business of telling people what they need to be aware of to keep themselves safe. Well, do they really? Like the guys that used to come into our cul-de-sac and take bottles in the morning, I haven't seen them in ages. But whenever I'd go out and they were there, super polite. Dude was obviously homeless, just trying to make his way. I don't care. Frankly, if I'm treating him nice, he's got a better chance of making sure no one messes with our stuff than anything else, right?
I do see him. He's elsewhere. I don't think our cul-de-sac has enough, but I often see him on my morning
Mhm.
walks and like, every week. And he's always super
Super polite. Yeah.
friendly. And yeah,
But that's it, right? Like it's all the same stuff. Like we've created sub businesses of scaring people as a means of, yeah, this makes me sound like a conspiracy theorist, but this is no different, right? This need to feel safe at all times is just a falsehood. Like you're as safe as you want to be in any given situation. Do you need to be aware of certain surroundings and what you may or may not want to do? Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, the chances of a kid getting abducted going to the bus stop for 3 blocks, pretty slim.
yeah.
Right. But anyways,
And this one was really just self-sufficiency, like
yeah.
hygiene and stuff like that. But I was done early with laundry, and the girls learned really quick. If I want clean socks and underwear that don't reek and aren't dirty, like I have to wash my own.
Well, and they also realized that someone saying you smell is a big deterrent to going to school smelly.
So it doesn't affect me, right? And I know parents are like, well, my kids just wouldn't. Well, have you given them the chance, first of all, right? Maybe they will eventually. It's kind of like me with the bathroom with you. When I stopped washing the bathroom, it got really gross until you were done. And then you started cleaning the bathroom, and I've never cleaned the bathroom since.
Yeah, in like 20 years.
I know.
Yeah.
It worked out well.
Yeah, like I'm at this point, I could play a game of where's the cleaning supplies and you'd lose. You'd be like, oh, under the sink, but which sink? I don't know. You have no idea.
I clean other stuff, but it's just like that, right? Like it'll get to the point where your kids are like, oh my gosh, I got to do something about this. Actually, I was pleasantly surprised when I got home from Detroit. I had to go into Willow's room. Oh, this morning,
Yeah,
because the alarm was, she had a sleepover last night and her alarm was when it was going off. So I came up and I actually could open her door and
she,
walk into her room.
she, to her credit, and I didn't tell her anything or say anything. She spent pretty much 3 or 4 nights after school working on that while you were gone because she just wanted to have a space that she could chill out in.
Just it,
Mhm.
right? Like us nagging her, she never would do it. But it'll get to the place and time where they're like, okay, I better do this
Yeah.
thing, right? Failure is part of success. So millennials, and I've talked about this, millennials grew up and everybody gets a trophy,
Mhm.
everybody gets a participation badge. And so they're tiptoeing and not letting kids fail. Do you agree
Yeah,
with that?
absolutely not. The kids need to fail.
But do you agree? Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like so here's the thing. I can't say whether millennials are or are not doing this. I can only say whether I agree with the statement or
Yeah.
not. Yeah, no, your kid needs to fail.
Yeah.
Because,
That's how we learn.
yeah, like a kid that it only thinks that they're successful is going to grow up to have a difficult adulthood.
Yeah.
And it's not because the world is hard. And no, it's if you go through life thinking that you never do anything wrong, you become an arrogant, self-centered, incapable person because you don't have the ability to look at a situation and go, what can I do better here? What can I do to help someone? What can I do to help myself? You don't know that because in your mind, whatever you choose to do is the right decision. And if it doesn't work out in the way you want, well, it's someone else's fault. Well, no, that's completely unhealthy.
Yeah. And you don't expand, like you just never leave your comfort zone either,
No.
right? Like
It
it's
comes back
just,
to like the saying of never be this, you never want to be the smartest person in a room. If you're the smartest person in a room, you're in the wrong room.
yeah,
It's the same mentality. You need to go through life in a way that allows you to challenge yourself, to fail, and to figure out how to do better next time.
yeah,
Simple as that.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, I never fail. Like I'm amazing.
So the next one is how to handle discomfort.
Well, that would fall in line with the whole failure thing, really. Like you have to be uncomfortable at times. You have to learn how to deal with it.
Yeah. And this is the big thing, like that I often talk about, just emotion regulation. We need our kids to, yeah, fail, but also feel sadness and rejection and grief and shame and all of those things,
If for
right?
no other reason, so that they can recognize it in others and avoid putting that upon someone else. If you don't know what it's like to be uncomfortable, you are incapable of demonstrating empathy for someone else that might be,
Well,
right?
and you never will never be able to regulate your own
No,
emotions.
totally.
And this is
Yeah.
the one thing that we see a lot of parents do, always reassuring their children, always trying to make them feel better, but kids are never learning to self-soothe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so if they don't know how to self-soothe when they get older, then what do? They are going to drink, they're going to turn to substances or gaming or whatever because they never learned how to self-soothe
Yeah.
and feel that discomfort. And so then they go to numbing
Yes.
and
I would 100% agree
medications.
with that.
Appreciating what they have.
So expand upon that. So
So it's saying a meaningful lesson that parents aren't teaching their kids is the value of appreciating what they have rather than always asking for more. So fostering gratitude. Um, yeah, it's
yeah, I
really
could see
big with
that.
gratitude. Pressures of materialism, always seeking out what that they don't have.
Yeah, you and I talked about that very early on as we were worried about that with the girls, right? Christmas in particular. So we've tried very much to avoid that. I still think that we're not, it still happens a lot. Like I think that kind of goes on a day-to-day basis, that very much goes hand in hand with the commercialization of day-to-day life,
Yeah,
right? The need to have more and want more and do more. And part of it is how many people do we know that are driving around in $100,000 vehicles?
I know. Well,
Like,
you just pointed out that truck yesterday that
yeah,
was like
yeah,
$150,000. Like,
full load
what
Molly.
the?
Well, and literally that thing has never seen a back alley. Like it was pristine. It was perfect. And it was a 3,500 diesel truck. Why do you need that? What are you going to tow with that? Nothing. But it's the same thing, right? It's that always wanting something more. Like I was talking to friends of mine that are looking at buying a new car. They're looking at buying $100,000 vehicles. I'm like, why?
Can they even afford that?
It's not even that. Well, for a lot of them can't. And they figure out a way to get it and just live the life. But at the same time, what purpose does that serve? I
I'm
am more excited about our 20-year-old car I just bought. Like I'm stoked to have this car, and it is older than my daughter,
yeah.
but it's awesome. I can't like it's so much more fun to drive.
I'm a like $5,000 car girl. If I could get
Mhm.
something for
But
$5,000,
you can't.
I have.
Yeah, you did 30 years ago, babe. That's like the $5,000 car doesn't
Mine just
exist.
got hers for like
Would you
less
take
than
that
that.
to the cabin?
Yeah.
No, you would not, because I would not let you because there's a certain safety limit.
Well, whatever.
But to that end, 5,000, 15,000, 25,000. Those to me are reasonable prices for reliability. I don't need 60, 80, 120. Like that's property.
Yeah.
Like there's an acreage for sale in northern Alberta for $79,000. I could buy that and the adjoining property for less than that truck we saw yesterday.
Yeah. So but the big thing with the one of the best things I think we've done is giving kids our kids a clothing allowance. And the clothing, like we call it a clothing allowance, but it's whatever
Yeah.
for whatever, right? So they know for clothes, we'll buy them back to school clothes, like an
Yep.
outfit or two, and a pair of runners, a pair of nice shoes. That's it. And then that's it. Like even the other day, Willow was like, "Oh, this would be so nice." I'm like, "Add it to your Christmas list." So anything extraneous out of the essentials, they either need to buy themselves
Hmm.
with that allowance, and that includes clothing. So we went for date night and Willow wanted to buy jeans. If I bought them for her, she just would have bought any jeans and never worn them. But she really took the time and was deciding, and now she knows it's her money. Same thing with university. We're not paying for Maya's university. And
Hmm.
she's like really thinking, she's really wanting to do good. She's like, this is a lot of money for me not to do good.
Hmm.
And she's really thinking about the courses she wants, right? Like she's being very thoughtful.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a big piece of it when we're just giving our kids stuff all the time. Like I do almost wonder if we've traveled too much because I think that's the one way we've really spoiled our girls.
Yes. And I think we do. Yeah, I think we've all kind of hit a wall this year with all the travel we've done, which again, first world problems, blah blah blah. But the excitement wasn't there,
Yeah.
right? And so to me, that's it's
Suzuka was pretty darn exciting for
Suzuka was
my,
pretty exciting.
yeah.
And frankly, Willow had a good time too. She wasn't really jazzed about it, but when we got there, she had a good time.
Yeah. And I was too. Like
Yeah,
I was
it was cool
crying in my go-kart on the
on the
Suzuka
circuit. Yeah,
track.
it was very cool. Like to be able to say that we've driven and touched Suzuka. Like literally, I touched the pavement as I was going around because I was never going to get back there. Those experiences, though, are amazing,
Yeah.
but the overall travel is not the exciting part anymore, right? Which is fine. Like they've seen a lot, but I think yeah, we've got to really temper that with one big exciting thing maybe, but the rest of it can be pretty scaled back and still have that togetherness piece, right?
And I think we did really good with the gratitude. What's been your favorite place so far? What have you really enjoyed? So also like debriefing those kinds of
Yeah,
things, I think is
yeah.
helpful.
They all
Um,
pretty much said 7-Eleven, like consistently across the board. 7-Eleven won.
and Suzuka. Entertaining themselves without technology. Like this is kids don't know how to
Yeah,
do that.
100%. That's correct.
And we've talked a lot about that. It's actually interesting because Maya yesterday was like, I had really interesting conversation with Noah. Like Noah called me out. So Noah's her cousin, my brother's son, just called her out of the blue, which hasn't really happened. Well, I was talking to my brother today and he's like, yeah, I took the cable cord or whatever, like
The power supply for the
the
PlayStation.
power supply for this PlayStation. So the kids had nothing to do. So they spent the day yesterday calling people,
Mhm.
calling family, like calling
And
grandma and
long
grandpa.
conversations, like
Yeah.
hour plus conversations. Yeah.
And connecting.
Yeah.
See
And the
what
girls loved
happens?
it too. The girls had a great time.
Yeah. And so they don't need screens. They will find they would rather if they don't know better. And we've talked about this
Yeah.
to length, so we really don't need to, but really
They don't need them. Put them in a carpentry course.
yeah. The value of persevering.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100% agree that it's not a lesson that's being demonstrated.
Yeah. As soon as things get tough, they're letting kids off the hook, right? They're like, and we see this at schools. They get to go have a break. They get to go have the safe room. I'm like, if that's the safe room, what's the rest of the school, right?
Yeah.
But we're seeing lower resilience, which is actually leading to more mental health problems. Um, and kids think, just to your point before, that everything in life should come easy. And if not, then I get to take a break. And we're seeing that like in the workforce. And I know we've talked
Oh,
about
yeah.
this too, right? Where
Yeah.
people are having grievances or just going on stress leave or
Yeah.
but yeah, they're just not giving up.
I mean, to me, it ties very closely with the discomfort one as well. You have to learn, like, without being able to understand how to process discomfort in uncomfortable situations, you can't persevere. You can, but that they're very, to me, very much linked because you have to know how to push forward. You have to know how far you can take something to get potentially maybe not what you want out of it, but get to a better place. And if you can't do that, you are constantly going to be put upon by the rest of the world because you will begin to shape your worldview as everyone's out to get me. Everything's too hard. Why do I bother? Like, I guarantee you're going to see a ton of kids that are growing up like that because they don't know how to push through uncomfortable situations or hard situations. And I'm not talking like I don't believe, and we've talked about this a long, long time ago. I don't believe that parents that have the attitude of, yeah, well, it was like this and this and this when I was a kid, so why shouldn't they have to go through it? I don't prescribe to that.
Mm.
You don't need to make it harder for your kids. But when the situation arises where they need to learn how to push forward, your job is to support them on figuring out how to do that, right? Not punish them because you had it tough, right? There's enough difficult situations that if they get a benefit of something that you had to struggle with not being a struggle for them, fine. There's other struggles they're going to have to deal with. Be there to teach them how to get through those struggles, right?
Well, and I hate that too. Like, if we could look at pictures from the of phones,
Yeah,
from the very first telephone that was ever invented to, through the ages, and even telephones like cell phones from like 20 years ago,
yeah,
right? Or even from our childhood when we had the rotary telephone, right? They've changed a lot. We're not expecting our children to have the exact same phones that we did,
yeah.
right? And yet we're still expecting them to have, it's a different
It's
world,
a whole different
right?
world,
It's a
but
different,
and that's it. Like my job as a parent is to try and put my kids in a position where they benefit from the struggles I had, not that they have to learn by struggling through the same things. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's enough stuff they're going to have to push through. Teach them how to do it.
but they
Don't,
have to have, yeah,
yeah,
their own struggles.
yeah,
Which kind of comes well, and actually to go with that perseverance, they do persevere with things that they love,
yes,
right? Like video games is a great example, and I've talked about this before. Video games gamers like developers are so good because they know exactly what motivates kids. And there's nothing better for the brain to overcome a really tough challenge,
mhm,
right? Because they go to a new level and they die and they die and they die, but they every little bit they're just learning a little bit more until they pass that level, and then they're like, yes, and they get that huge dopamine
yeah,
hit. So they learn to persevere in those things, right? But in the real world, we never give them that dopamine hit because we're always nagging them. They're never personally achieving that challenge on their own because
mhm,
there's always an adult hovering. And that kind of goes into the next one, how to overcome challenges, right? So along with perseverance, they're not learning how to overcome any of those
yeah,
challenges in life as well.
yeah. I would agree with that.
So, they just so again, they're not looking at success as work. It's just isn't like life should just be easy and I don't need to.
Like part of it is the learning learning to celebrate the effort it takes to get the outcome you want is the reward, right? Like it's not necessarily getting like pushing through it. Like that's an outcome of the effort that you put into it. So it's structuring in a way of, okay, well, how are you going to deal with that? Like don't focus on the problem, right? Focus like you see the problem, we all see the problem, we all see what you got to get through. Take it a step back. Well, what are you going to do to get through that? Because once you focus on that, that's the tool set that's needed to get through any challenge, right? Because any kid that sits there and stares at, well, I can't do that because of this and this and this. Okay, well, what can you do to build up to that? And we've done that with the girls. Okay, well, remember when they were trying to learn how to skate, I think it was. They were so focused on the fact that they couldn't skate fast like other girls. It was like, well, what can you do? Let's worry about standing up. So
Mhm.
then it was stand up. I stood up. Okay, let's worry about moving forward. And it was just taking them back and building upon each piece that by the time they pass that, what was perceived to be a challenge, they don't even think about it anymore because they were so focused on the steps needed to take just to move forward. And that to me is the framing that should be like when a challenge presents itself, how do you go through it? How do you acquire the skills and the resolve to move forward?
It's that procedural thinking.
Yeah.
What's next? What's next? What's next?
Yeah.
That hoodie color looks really good on you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. So the next one is just independence, which is kind of, I mean, all of this, I just keep thinking as I'm reading through this is just all part of the same thing that I talk about all the time. Just let your kids go out into the world and all of these things will be resolved. You don't have to sit down and teach your child each of these things. You just got to
Well, you look
step
back to
back.
your favorite topic about the whole that show in Japan, right?
Yeah.
With the kids that go, we got to see it firsthand. We saw little kids taking the subway in Tokyo by themselves. Two kids, backpacks, knew the procedure, knew what to do, managed it, managed the crowds. And it was awesome to see. And I'm talking little kids, like 8, 9, 7, like in that range. And they were just chilling, doing their thing.
Well, the one kid, was it in Nara? I can't remember where we were, but we're on some side streets and it was pretty touristy. And that little kid, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could video. And but there's laws, you can't
Yeah.
video just for my presentation because I
Yes.
wanted to show proof. But he couldn't have been more than 5 years old.
No.
And like narrow side little curb, not even a curb. Like you're on the street. It's just the like the white line at the
Yeah.
side, whatever you like. I can't when you pull over the car,
Yeah.
right? But he's just itty bitty. Like no one could really see him, but they do. Like they do watch.
Well,
And,
by comparison, did you notice what happened in the mall when we were on date night?
no,
That little one that was walking around that was probably like 2 or 3.
no.
People were freaking out that this kid was just walking. Her mom was just around the corner,
Mm,
right? People were freaking out that this kid was just walking along the mall. And I'm like, okay, well, obviously the mom's not concerned,
yeah.
right?
I would always, like even grocery shopping, when Maya was like 2 years old, I'd let her go to other
Yeah,
aisles,
go pick stuff up.
go pick stuff up, right? Like
Yeah,
that's
earn your keep, kid.
so yeah, just and parents of kindergarten age kids stepping in to correct kids all the time, making suggestions to their kids while their kids are playing, right? These kids just have more difficulties regulating their emotion, their
Mhm.
behaviors, right? All of these types of things. Delayed gratification. So waiting for things that you want
Mhm.
is a big one. We're not teaching kids the value of waiting for what they want. And we do know, like if you look up the marshmallow
Yeah,
test on YouTube, those kids, when they followed them, the kids who were able to wait for the second marshmallow actually did better in life in all areas, but we're not teaching these. And so kids end up being impulsive and spoiled and entitled and all of those things.
yeah,
This is all the same thing because number 10 is how to take healthy risks, right? We're worried that our kids are going to hurt themselves. It's the overprotective parenting. So all of this ties in. Hey, man, everything that I talk about and teach is all about this.
yeah. And then you're not wrong. And I think, I mean, avoiding the clickbaity title of millennials have ruined XYZ. It's not just
No,
millennials.
it's
It's multi-generational parenting has
yeah,
gotten way too involved, way too um sensitive. And yeah, you just gotta, I don't know.
well, it's where the information's coming from. And we talked about the social media and things, but a lot of parenting books, like the parenting, if you look at the foundation of parenting books, which is all about the connection is definitely important. I always talk about
Mhm.
that. But then like it sucks, kid. Man, this is really hard. So what are you going to do?
Yeah,
Right? And we've forgotten that second part. So what are you going to do?
yeah,
But all of the parenting books, which was essentially coddling kids, it wasn't meant for parents. It was meant for orphanages, for the people taking care of orphans, babies, hundreds of babies. There might be one adult
yeah,
for like 10 babies. And it was from those brochures, professionals, and this was like way back in like the 1800s, professionals there were saying you gotta pick up those babies and hold them and nurture them as much as you can because they're not getting the regular
yeah,
nurturing, right? That's what those were meant for. But literally, people were taking those pamphlets and then started making parenting books. So a lot of the parenting books that are out there are based on faulty assumptions, right? Like,
yeah.
anyway,
Well, it's just like the 10,000 hours, right?
yeah.
It's exactly that. It became a thing and people have latched onto it and you're still hearing about it today, years after it's been refuted. It's the same thing.
So for parents, I mean, there's a lot to think about, and maybe we can go into, I think it would be valuable to, I think some of these we could group together, but
Yeah,
go into, okay, so what do we do instead?
yeah,
But for now, I think really it's everything that we've always talked about in this. It's just what are you doing for your kids that they can do for themselves? One thing that you can let go of,
yeah,
right? And now and see. I think, doing laundry is a great one. You got to get over your own heartstrings, but truly it's not going to affect you that much
yeah.
if your kids are wearing dirty clothes the next day, right?
100%.
So anyway, I don't know if you had anything
No,
else. This ended up being long. Are you okay? Is it
yeah,
hot in here?
no, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm
My
good.
eyes are burning. I'm so tired.
You should have a nap.
I should probably have a nap
6 p.m.
at 6 p.m. But I'm gonna be in PEI, so it's like 9 p.m.
No, you should go to bed right now.
I know. My circadian rhythm or clock is so messed up, just like Eastern time, Japan time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be tomorrow. I'll be in what, Central time? I
Saskatchewan
think
hour.
Central. Yeah, Central.
Yeah.
Good day.
Good day.